So guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a different type of video today, and something that I've never done on the channel, and that's player profiles on Manchester United's latest signings, Joshua Zirkzee and Leny Yoro. The first two through the door, very happy with both of them. But the whole purpose of today's video is to give you guys a bit of an insight on what's to come next season from Joshua Zirkzee and Leny Yoro, as well as telling you guys about their strengths, their weaknesses, what qualities they are going to bring to the team, and also why personally I think they are going to be a massive success under Ineos playing for Manchester United next season. So if this is content that you guys do enjoy and you want to see it more often, then please make sure to drop a like on the video. That would tell me you guys enjoyed it and also you want to see it more often. Also guys, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe, and if you learned a thing or two from this video and you got some more information that you did not know about Joshua Zirkzee or Leny Yoro, then let me know down below guys, because that would be great. And also remember guys to share the video. But let's get straight into it guys by talking about our latest signing in Leny Yoro, who signed for Manchester United from Lille for 50 million. Of course it was 62 million euros, but over here that equates to 50 million. So overall guys, a really good deal. It's a great deal for both teams. Lille are getting 50 million for an 18-year-old, a very talented one, and one that's been called generational. And also Real Madrid came out the other day and basically said, at 18 years of age, there's no one close to Leny Yoro's ability. And just off the back, that made me very excited. But the fact Manchester United will manage to get him over the line is just incredible. And I'm very excited to see him progress with Manchester United over the next couple of seasons. But yeah, links from PSG, they were involved, Liverpool were involved. So a lot of big teams were involved to try and sign the signature of Leny Yoro. But Manchester United got there thanks to Ineos. So I'm very happy with it. But he broke onto the scene last season playing for Lille. He's played over 40 games. So he has got some experience. And he has played against some of the best players in the world. He's played against Mbappe. He's played against top strikers like Aubameyang, Lacazette, who are really good over there in the French league at the moment. So, I mean, Aubameyang's left now, but he had played against them. So, he does have some experience. So, he's not coming into the Manchester United team fully in the unknown, never playing a game before, and we're just signing an 18-year-old who's been sitting on the bench and he's been hyped up. That's not the case. We are signing a guy that of course has brought interest from the likes of PSG, Liverpool, Real Madrid, because of the big impact he had in that Lille team. I think when Leny Yoro started playing for Lille, they had one of the best defensive records, and that was down to the impact of Leny Yoro, and that's why he brought so much interest from the likes of PSG and Real Madrid and Manchester United, etc. So obviously the interest is there, the hype's there, and I know he's 18 years of age, and I know he's only played 40 games, but this guy, one day, I believe, is going to be one of the best centre-backs in the world. And I'm not just saying that because we've signed him. It's the research I've done. It's the information I've got on him. Right now, he's already ranking up very close to the likes of Saliba, the Van Dijk. So we'll talk to you guys about that, and I'll show you guys all the charts in the video. But already, Leny Yoro has very few weaknesses. And for a player at 18 years of age to have very few weaknesses in this game and to show the amount of ability he is showing is just crazy. It's absolutely crazy to me, guys. But if we look on screen here, I'll try and put it on the screen for you guys to read. It's a Leny Yoro scouting report. And this just goes over a lot of key stats as a defender, or what you want to see as a defender, and just how highly he is ranking compared to, you know, all the centre-backs in the big 5 leagues over the last 365 days, based on 2,222 minutes played that Leny Yoro has played, of course. So if you look on here, guys, ignore the penalty bits, the assists, the shots total, etc. because you don't want to look at that. That's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about Leny Yoro, and he is a defender, and we're here to talk about some key stats that you want to see as a defender. And if you see here, guys, passes attempted, he's well up there on the 66.26 per 90. And of course, if you look in the percentile section, it's very high up in the green. And of course, you see the pass completion. We'll get to that in a minute. But if you look at these successful take-ons, 0.32, but 71 in the percentile. So he's very high in that. Successful take-ons, which again is one of his strengths, which we are going to talk about. But this is up there, guys, with similar players in his position all around the big 5 leagues. in the Champions League, Europa League, etc. over the last 365 days. You look at interceptions as well. And all of these that I'm pointing out, guys, are the key points and their strengths in Leny Yoro's game. And it shows you what he's producing already as an 18-year-old. So you look at the interceptions, 1.34, 71, very, very high up in the green, which again is just incredible because these are the things you look for when you're trying to analyse a centre-back. The interceptions, the passes attempted, the pass completions, and of course the non-penalty goals are up there very high, but we don't need to talk about that one. But the one I want to talk on the most is the pass completion. 92.5% per 90, 95 percentile, right up there on the green. It's nearly at 100%. And I'll tell you this, guys, he's very close to a lot of the talented centre-backs at the moment, some of the best in the world. And this is what makes him, or what brought him so much interest, and what makes him an incredible player already at 18 years of age. He's already doing the basics extremely well. And again, as I mentioned earlier, he has very, very few weaknesses in his game, which brought the interest, of course, from Manchester United and Real Madrid. He's a player which, the big teams wanted to snatch because they see so much potential and they see a top player who one day is going to be one of the best centre-backs in the world. So yeah, 95 up there, very high on the green, nearly 100%, which is absolutely incredible. And of course, you've got some other stats in there. Progressive passes, 17, very low. Progressive carries. And again, these are what I think are some of his strengths in his game, but also some of his weaknesses as well. And we'll talk over that because as an 18-year-old, you're not just going to have 100 strengths and no weaknesses. There's going to be things in your game which, you're going to have to improve on, which are going to be a bit stale at the moment. But of course, that comes with a lot of experience, education, and of course, as you go on in your football career, that will, I guarantee you, we look back at this in 10 years' time, that will be very high up in the green because you learn from it. And these are things that in his game at the moment are not quite sharp enough. But again, it's a minimal stuff we're talking about. And that's why I want to show you guys this, because the main things you want to see, as I mentioned, the passes attempted, the completion passes, the successful take-ons, which again is a player which likes to adventure into the midfield. He likes to run into space, break through the lines, etc. So that's what makes him as good as he is at the moment. And interceptions as well, which we'll talk about very, very soon. You look at the stuff like clearances, aerials won, etc. They are quite low, and it's not a major concern at 18 years of age, because I do think his aerial duels are something which I think he can definitely be top of very, very soon, because is the frame of player he is, he will only improve on that section. And also, any other things to mention here, guys, the touches per 90, 0.4 attacking penalty area, don't need to look at that. So that's on this chart, guys. All I wanted to show you guys, really, because I just think it's outstanding that a lot of this is very, very high on the green, and it's just quite outstanding. But if we look at this, guys, I'm comparing him to some of the top and best centre-backs all around the world, like the likes of Van Dijk, the likes of Saliba, and just stats based on what you want to see as a defender. It's very small, guys. I can barely see it on here on my screen as well, because I don't know why. I don't know where he got it from or what website it was from, but I just wanted to bring it to you guys' attention and give you guys some of these stats and how close that Leny Yoro is comparing to the likes of Virgil van Dijk, the Salibas, etc. Because it actually is staggering and shocking how close he is at the moment, just at 18 years old, comparing him to the likes of Van Dijk, Saliba, Ruben Diaz, etc. So here it is. I will just get on it here for you guys. So when on this chart, I will try my best to put it on screen, guys, because even if it's very small, you get the gist of what I'm on about when you look at the screen. So you see like the likes of Saliba on here, you might see the likes of Van Dijk. We're comparing him to Gabriel, Ruben Diaz, etc. Thiago Silva, Kanate. I don't know why Harry Maguire's on here, but Van Dijk and Yoro is the one I want to look very, very closely at, because we look at some of the key things here. Defensive duels won per 90. Van Dijk right now is 71.4. As we're talking about Van Dijk, one of the best centre-backs in the world. Can't argue with that. He may have fallen off in some seasons. He's not performed to the best of his ability, but he's still up there with one of the best centre-backs in the world. Defensive duels won, 71.4, compared to Leny Yoro's 77.66. So, it's not far off, is it? It's not far off. And this is aerial duels 1, and it's also one of his strengths because just how tall he is. He towers over attackers, he's physically dominant, and again, yes, he's not the finished article, and he does need to bulk up a bit because if you look at him, he doesn't look like your natural centre-back at the moment, and I'm sure that will come with the right people behind him. Yeah, at Manchester United, that is going to happen. You're going to get the right people behind you, and you're going to become a top player under Manchester United eventually, especially as a young player. You've seen how many young players have come through Manchester United. Of course, he's not for the academy, but young players at Manchester United normally tend to go on to succeed big things. So yeah, compares very close to aerial duels 1. Defensive duels per 90, however, 3.48 for Van Dijk, and Leny Yoro is 3.75. So he's ahead of Van Dijk in a defensive duels per 90 category overall. It's not just defensive duels 1, but it shows the intent that he's always willing to measure up against the attacker, try and win that aerial duel, and also make sure he gives himself that 99% chance that he's going to either block the shot, win the header, etc. So that's really, really key as well. So we move over to another one, guys, and this is aerial duels 1 per 90. Van Dijk's at 73.11, and Leny Yoro, guys, is at 64. So again, a bit off Van Dijk, but this is what I'm saying. He's not far off. You would expect him to be in the 40s and the 30s column at the moment, being 18 years of age. And this is why Leny Yoro got so much interest from Real Madrid, Manchester United, based on 40 games that he's played. It just shows the talent he is already, and the potential he has is staggering. It's absolutely staggering in all areas. He's so calm, he's so composed, and already he has a very high football IQ. And we're going to talk more about that very, very soon. But we also move on, guys, to passes per 90. Van Dijk right now is at 63.92, and we move to Leny Yoro, who is at 57.01. So again, we're talking staggering, small numbers comparing these players. And this is comparing Van Dijk, Saliba. You look at Saliba's passes per 90, 63.6, similar to Van Dijk. You look at Saliba's aerial duels 1, 51.21, and he's ahead of him. He's ahead of Saliba. So he's comparing and ranking really, really well with some of the elite top centre-backs at the moment. You've got Gabriel on there. What's his defensive duels 1.90? 66, and Leny Yoro is 67. You see what I'm saying here? It's just so good how he's comparing with these top centre-backs at this level already, being 18 years of age, having only played 40 games. So yeah, accurate passes, Van Dijk's at 93.2 and Leny Yoro is at 94.6. And again, it's absolutely amazing that he's already above Van Dijk in some of these categories as well, because it just shows the impact he's had already within 40 games, and he's just doing things right. And when you're 18 and you're kind of this good, it's a massive thing, because eventually I do think he'll play for Manchester United, and eventually I reckon he will get that move to Real Madrid, because as I mentioned earlier, Real Madrid said that there's no one close to his ability at 18 years of age. They didn't bother going with anyone else or for anyone else because of that reason. So that just says it all already. And eventually Real Madrid do get their way. So I do think that Leny Yoro will make that move there. And eventually, it might be a 1 year, maybe 2 or 3 years where he does make that move to Real Madrid. I do think he'll be going to Real Madrid as a top player. So yeah, he's ahead of Van Dijk in the passing category. And as I mentioned, one of his major strengths is his calmness on the ball and his passing in tight areas, whether he receives it, with a lot of space, with a player right next to him. He just has that idea and the IQ to make sure he does the right thing. And again, that confidence already in this game is really key, because he's trustworthy. He can, people want to pass him the ball because he's going to do the right thing with it. He's going to control it and he's going to make the right decision. And I think that's really key as well, because they only get better at that over time. So yeah, player passes really good. Accurate passes good. And we haven't mentioned his long balls. His long ball passing is on the floor passing, and his ability to just make the right decision to move the game forward. And as soon as Leny Yoro passes that ball forward, it gives the team an even better % chance of creating a chance or scoring a goal, because he's playing the ball forward. And I cannot say enough how important it is for defenders at a young age to have the IQ, to have the ability to play the ball forward. Because a lot of players will do it safe. a lot of players will play it back to the other centre-back, he'll play it back to the keeper, or do a safe pass. But he wants to move the game forward. He wants to give his team the best chance of creating a chance. And I think doing that already, it says to me of a top player. I don't know about you guys, but it does say to me of a very top player, because you see it from the best now. You see Van Dijk passing forward. You see Saliba passing forward, or having that intent to pass forward. If it's there, he's going to make it. He's going to try. He's going to take risks. And of course, risks do come with some concern. And that's the only thing right now, 18, that with a lot of 18-year-olds, they're very, what's the word? They're very, not cautious. I don't want to say they are very eager. I want to say eager. They are very eager on the ball because they're 18, they don't have much experience. And again, they want to try and do as much as they can at 18 years of age. But what I'm going to say is that at 18 years of age, yes, you're loving seeing what Leny Yoro is doing at the moment. You're playing the ball forward. He's running with the ball into the midfield. But also, there are times where you've got to be cautious, and you also have to make sure you are not overplaying the ball. And this is one of the criticisms of Leny Yoro. He sometimes does overdo it, sometimes overplays with the ball. And that's the only thing right now that I would say is one of his weaknesses. Not major weaknesses, but something as an 18-year-old you kind of expect. And that's fine at the moment because you expect him to do that. But with experience, with time, you understand that, yes, running with the ball, running forward is completely fine. It creates opportunities. It brings attackers onto you to create more space for other players. But also, it puts you in danger, it puts you out of position, and also it could cause not an opportunity for the other team to attack. And that's the only thing I would say at the moment. But yeah, the last thing, accurate long passes. Van Dijk's on 61.58 and Leny Yoro is at 60.7. Another major strength in Leny Yoro's game is that ability to find that winger. And I do think the likes of Rashford, Anthony, whoever playing there, Diallo, whoever's playing on the wings for Manchester United are going to enjoy a lot of those balls over the top because he's so good at it even at 18 years of age. And that's only going to improve as well. So that's the chart I wanted to bring up for you guys. I found it just very, very interesting that at 18 years of age, Leny Yoro is already ranking very well within some of the best centre-backs in the world. And that's why I think he's going to be a top centre-back in the future. Because already he's as close as he is, and the ability he has is very close to the likes of these players as well. But one of his best strengths for me is his ball winning ability, and it's very, very similar to the likes of Wan-Bissaka. And he's a player which can do the scoop tackle, and when you can scoop tackle, it gives you a 99% chance of winning the ball when you go to the floor. And what also makes him so good, and what makes his ball winning ability one of his major strengths, is his long legs, because it also gives him that confidence in himself that he can win the majority of tackles he goes down for. And if you watch him and you're watching his tackling ability, go and watch some highlights. I know highlights are just a minimal thing. I don't take them seriously, but he seems like he knows what he's doing when he goes to the floor, because a lot of 18-year-olds as well, a lot of young players, not just 18-year-olds, even players like 19, 20, they believe they can tackle, but it does come with a lot of risk as well. But what I'm seeing from Leny Yoro is the risk is being rewarded 99% of the time, and his ability to tackle has saved him and saved his team in so many different circumstances. So that's a massive strength in his game, to be able to have that confidence, similar to Wan-Bissaka, to go to the floor and know you're going to win the ball is again another major strength in his game. So yeah, it's very, very similar to Wan-Bissaka. And what also, with him having a lot of pace, which for his frame, you wouldn't really expect it, but he's got the height, he's got the pace, he's got the agility, he's got the athleticism. As a centre-back right now, as I mentioned, he's got very few weaknesses in his game, and all of those that I just said are massive strengths, which helps his team in the game from conceding goals and stopping shots. And you're so key in a game as well, because if you can do that, obviously it gives you a better chance of not conceding the goal. So yeah, he's very fast, so he's very hard to get by. So in certain situations, whether he's recovering, whether he's got a one-on-one duel, he uses his pace to his advantage and can win those one-on-ones 99% of the time. And also with the recoveries is also key as well, because we spoke about his weaknesses, and it is running into the midfield and sometimes overdoing it, maybe losing the ball, maybe just having that one moment where you don't make the right decision. The fact he can recover well, win that ball back again is really, really good and favours Leny Yoro in many situations. So that's also basically defying the weakness in a way, because even though he makes that mistake and that will stop over time, he's able to get back and win the ball. So yeah, defensively, one-on-ones, recovering, etc. He wins most of his duels because he's got that pace, he's got the ability with his long legs to tackle, and he's just really good, as I mentioned, physically dominant as well. So with aerial duels will be no concern in this game and will definitely help out Manchester United next season. So, any more stuff on Leny Yoro? So what I also had written down was, for his age, he's very intelligent, he's calm at his level, and he's a top distributor. And another stat, he has a completion rate of 96.1 short pass completion rate. And again, we saw it earlier within the chart. We know his passing is absolutely brilliant, and it's a major strength in his game. But the short passing for me is the one, because I watched a game the other day when we were playing Rangers. And already, the short passing was already better than all of our centre-backs combined. Because as soon as he gets the ball, he doesn't just, hold the ball up and look for the option. He's instantly looking for that pass forward, the pass onto the wing, the pass onto the side, etc. He's all automatically switched in, locked in, looking for that pass to play the ball forward. And again, when you do that, it shocks the attackers in a way, because they expect you to hold them to the ball instantly and make a short pass backwards, make a short pass to the side. But midfield players on the opposite team also don't expect him to be able to play within the lines in small gaps to make that pass. But that's exactly what he can do. And he showed it to me the other day, and he's been showing it for Lille over 40 games as well. Just go and watch some of his highlights. As I mentioned, highlights are not something I would normally recommend, but when you're watching a player like this, a centre-back, you get a gist of what he's about by watching these highlights. So yeah, really keen already. His football IQ is already up there with some of the best centre-backs in the world. So yeah, he doesn't mind pressure. He doesn't mind pressure. If you're passing the ball in certain areas, tight spaces, he doesn't care, because he can handle it. He can fix it. Probably he's physically dominant as well, so he can shove players off the ball, which is also in his favour as well. He has that sense and agility, even for a player at his age, is very, very impressive. To have the build he does, and as I mentioned, with the right training, the right people behind him, the right game time, and also just the environment behind him, if it's all right and he bulks up, he's going to be absolutely amazing, because he's only going to get stronger. As I mentioned, if you look at him, he doesn't really look like a centre-back at the moment, does he? So yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one, but what I'm seeing is very promising at the moment, and he's only going to improve on that, hopefully, because he does need to definitely bulk up a bit, because he doesn't look like your average centre-back. So yeah, not afraid to work in tight spaces. And to be honest with you guys, to end it, my overall thoughts on Leny Yoro, guys, and everything I've talked to you guys about, it's exciting, isn't it? You get a gist of what he's about. And again, I hope you guys have learned a lot about him so far in this video. But overall, let me just say this. He's a player which will simply need minutes. That's it for me. He will simply need minutes. The ability is there. His strengths are there. He's got everything right now, a defender that you want in a defender. He has that. He has that right now. All his strengths are what you would look at in a defender's stats and think, do you know what? I want him to be good at that. I want him to be good at that. I want him to be good at that. He's already very, very good at that. And he has very few weaknesses in his game. And he does have the potential to go to the very top. But I mentioned, he needs the right support behind him. He needs the environment to be right. And he just needs to be handled in the best way possible regarding game time. And, pressure is coming into Manchester United and, starting straight away, which is a big possibility for him next season. But he doesn't mind pressure. And I think he can definitely cope with that. Starting in this Manchester United team next season, I don't think he's going to have any problems with it. But what's going to be a bigger challenge for him is the mental challenge of playing for Manchester United. It's not a physical challenge for him, because he's got that. That's fine. I'm not concerned about that, because he has everything you want. But it's a mental challenge of coming into one of the biggest clubs in the world and performing under a very toxic environment where Manchester United are not at the top at the moment. You're not coming into a Real Madrid team who are fully complete and you can sit there, you can laugh with them, and also you can just expect to win every game. That's not going to happen. He's coming into the team being put in a very cautious position of playing week in, week out, probably. If we don't sign another centre-back, he will be there. So it's more of a mental challenge for him than a physical one. And let's just hope he can get over the line, he can switch in, because I do think if he puts his mind to it right now and over the next couple of years, he is going to be an absolute talent. I say that right now with so much confidence, guys. But yeah, guys, that's all on Leny Yoro, guys. If you did enjoy this video and you learned a thing or two from it and you gained any new information you did not know, then please let me know down below, guys. But I'm very excited about this signing of Leny Yoro from Lille, and hopefully he can go on to become one of the top centre-backs in the world. Hopefully with Manchester United, I really do hope. But, if not, I hope he does with another team, because he definitely deserves it and he has all the ability. The potential's there. He's got it in his locker now, and it's just about him digging in, focusing, and making sure he does, or is in the right environment with Manchester United. So yeah, smash a like, guys. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, of course, please smash a like for me. That would be great. But anyway, guys, there will be one coming out on Joshua Zirkzee, so be excited for that. I'll be going through all of his stats as well, and that should be a much shorter video. But yeah, there was just so much I wanted to talk about today, because he got so much about him. And again, as I mentioned, the interest was there from some of the top clubs in the world. And he's an 18-year-old with so much potential, and one I can go on to become very, very good. So yeah, guys, that's me done, and I'll see you guys later.